What's up, everybody? Anthony here, specialtymotorcars.net, and we are back with part 2 of the 1987 Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham rebuild. I would be more than happy to sell them this car, minus the wire wheels. Wheels are not coming with it either way. Like I said, I do have a front bumper here. I have a loaded header panel, although you only really need this assembly here. Not in color. The hood is in fine shape. I do, or you do, or somebody does, need to find a front fender. There she is. Next time you see it, she'll be in paint. And I had bought this car really just for those wire wheels. But I got the car here. It was too nice to just part out. And I wanted to see the car saved, so I tried offering it as is, smashed, less the wheels. Nobody took my offer. So I ended up going down the rabbit hole and having it fixed. I had a header panel in stock. I have a bumper here already. I just had to get a fender. We hung the fender, and this is where we are now. We are in paint. So we're going to reassemble this car. We're going to get those wheels off, put the new wheels and tires on the car, get this car all back together in the front, and we're going to get it up for sale. All right, so here's where I left off. I basically got pieces and parts all over the place. I have the bumper there. That's the old header. I'm going to convert the lower trim, all that stuff over here. I am going to put the new fillers on. I did have filler panels painted, two front, and then these boomerang style or hockey stick style. These are the, what do you call it? The lights, you know, the lights for the lights. I am going to replace this bulb. We have the chrome to put on. I'm going to have to wait for Papa Bear to come and help me to hang this bumper. We got the rocker panel to put on. But let's start getting into reassembly of all the trim and whatnot. I now understand what the importance of this radiator grill surround was. It held this header panel together. As soon as I took it off, it just fell apart. So we are going to pop this guy on here. Line up those pins. Got a little bit of tape falling out. Oh yeah. This is the most exciting part of doing this, is getting all the trim back together, because it starts to become a car again. So we're going to fasten that down. I have the Atronic eye here for the auto-dimming lights. I swapped out the fishbowl headlight with one I stole off of that. We got the fog light, or the parking lights in. Filler panels. I got these guys here. Those just pop right on. Those are real easy. These are sided though. Right hand, left hand. This is my left hand. I'll pop those guys on here. Come on, little guy. I shouldn't be doing this backwards, one-handed. Da-da-da. They literally just kind of press in there. Oh yeah. These little guys, there's two on each side here. Those are little 8mm. Pop those on by hand. And then you got these 10s above it. Somewhere, doing it by feel. Let's see here. The crown jewel of the Brougham. Right in there. And we got a washer, rubber washer, flat washer, and then a nut. But I got all this bracketry all back together. This is the ambient outside temperature. The Atronic eye, you can see the orange eye in there. We're going to get this zipped up. And then she'll be wearing her crown again. So the next thing that I'm going to try to do is get these filler panels replaced here. Let's see, it kind of fits right up in there pretty decently, I think, once we get it tightened up. The only downfall is it doesn't come pre-drilled. The one good thing is with these filler panels, as it comes, the original ones have these metal brackets that kind of fit in behind here. So you can basically just bump it up in there and pre-drill your holes and do a pretty decent job. So that's what I'm going to do as far as lining up holes. Otherwise, you're on your own, really. All right, so I got all the holes pre-drilled, and I drill these ones a little bit bigger than what the actual bracket will take, just because, you know, when you go to put this in, you're going to want to be able to adjust it just a little bit, just to try to tuck those, tuck the body lines together pretty well. So let's feed the first one through. Lined up there, and these are just little 7mm screws. All right, I'd say that looks pretty good. I got this one on, I got this one on. Still got to put this lower chrome molding on, and you can see there's, you know, some flex there. Once you get that molding on, that'll tighten that up nicely. You get a bracket up here to hold this guy on. The thing that I'm going to do now is install these fender lights, and a lot of people think that they're bulbs, but they're actually just fiber optics. So basically this sits up there. You can see the blue for the high beam, the middle one is the headlight, and the left outer is your parking light. And they're just little fiber optic pigtails that go into each light assembly, and then they'll also go into the back, you can see here, right in there for the turn signal. Actually, not for this one. They'll go in for this one here. But that's for the signal, headlights, high beams. Little 8mm holds that on. It's a pretty simple setup here. You can see these are left and right side LH. So basically it just kind of sits, rubber sits right in there. Then you get the little gasket here. Sits on top of it. There you go. There's the assembly right there. You can see everything lights up. A couple little tiny 8mm to hold it together. One thing I want to point out with these headlamp monitors, and obviously it's fiber optic, you got to make sure that you put the right one on the right light. If you put the low beam on the high beam, it's going to be reversed up here. So a good way to test is take a flashlight just to be sure, and you can put it right on the end there. You can see, way to go. There's my high beam. You can see the light transmitting through there. There we go. High beam. You have a low beam, which is actually the shortest one, and then your turn signal goes on the back of the actual lens itself. That's what gives it its amber light. But that's one thing you want to make sure you do. I want to let you know that. And look at how nice this looks. Nice and clean. I hate when people paint these and paint over these little fiber optics. Drives me nuts. All right, so we're all kind of bulbed up over here. Got this guy in. One thing I have to go dig through my treasure trove of parts for is a headlight bezel for this side and this corner light. I do have it all for this side here. See the bezel, the corner light. One thing I will do is, you see how yellow that is? You know, these are plastic just like the lenses on today's cars, and it drives me nuts when those are yellow. Makes the car look old and kind of grimy. So this is my 80, and you can see, whoop, how crystal clear those are. I didn't polish those are original. It's from a garage car. So we're gonna polish those ones as well, just to give them that nice deep luster. I also got the grill over here. This is the original grill from the car. We're going to reuse that because the chrome was real nice on this car. I have the bumper. So let me go dive through and see what I can find. What I got to do is, see if I can match the quality of the chrome. You don't want one that's all blasted and sand pitted. Won't look right. And just like that, we have parts. You can see here, full stock of stuff to put this thing back together. So here we have it. You can see here the yellow light. I got it bolted in, and I'm gonna just take a little bit of sandpaper, wet paper, and sand it, get the edges. What I should have done was put tape on it before I got it wet, but that's all right. You can see the yellowness of the crap coming off this thing. All the oxidation. So basically I'm just kind of sanding it until that yellow oxidation stops. Give you an idea. You can see that it's a little clearer in here. We're going to do around the edges and then we'll tape it up. Now it's pretty easy. Just take a little bit of compound. And now pull the tape off. Look how nice that looks. Once we put the chrome bezel on. Ta-da! And just like that, with the headlight bezel, you see a nice clean lens. Here is the old one. So from smash to beautiful. Now let's start making away our cross here. We're going to hang that grill on there. We'll do the exact same thing we did over here on this side. And then we'll get that bumper hung on there. And she's coming along. Oh, man. She's coming along. We'll get this side buffed out. And then I just got to put my bezel on. I got this side filler panel all done. You can see down here. Back the camera up a little bit. Got that in. Got the chrome trim on. I still got to put the chrome on the other side. But grill's on. All the headlights are on. Fiber optics are all wired in correctly. Look at that gunk coming off there. This is probably one of the most satisfying things to do with these cars, is get these things. And this is just like, I think this is 2,000 grit. I could go, some people do like, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, do like 16 steps of it. But I'm just, these are old lights. I'm not trying to cut too much of it off, but I want to get that yellowy film off. Hang the bumper. I'm going to need Papa Bear to hang the bumper with me because it gets a little tight getting the corners of the bumpers over these fillers. He's not here right now, so I'll probably have to do that tomorrow. What else do I have to do to this car? Got to pull those wheels and tires off. I have the new ones to put on. Put the hubcaps on. Gonna give it a quick service, oil change. I also have to change the TCC solenoid in this car, which for those of you who have one of these 80s Broughams, 4100 powered cars and these 307 powered cars, it's real common for the TCC solenoids to go bad in these. And I see people all the time on the forum, or not the forums, but the Facebook pages now, asking, about, their car doing this weird thing. And what happens is the TCC solenoid is like the lockup switch inside the transmission. And I didn't realize this car had this issue until I started driving it. And what happens is you start whoops, forgot there was a screw under that. You start driving it, and you know, you get it to at least a speed where the torque converter in the transmission has to lock up, and then it doesn't unlock. So what happens is you come to a stop, and when you come to that stop, you know, the car almost wants to die. It's like bogging down. You pop it into neutral, and it's fine. What that is usually the TCC solenoid. Basically, the torque converter is stuck, engaged. And that's what happened to this car, driving it back from the body shop. It was fine going out there, but coming back, I realized that. So we're going to drop the transmission pan and replace that TCC solenoid. Not a big job. Obviously, if you got it on a lift, it's the easiest, but that'll cure that. We're going to do an oil change, and just going to be ready to go. Ta-da! And look how nice and clean that looks. Now, this is, like I said, one of my biggest pet peeves, and I don't think a lot of people realize that these are plastic lenses. These are glass, so naturally they don't yellow, but these corner lights are plastic, and you know, it just bugs the heck out of me when I see them all yellowed and kind of caked over, and people don't realize that they can very easily clean them. Now, the other thing that I do when I take like the headlight bezels and stuff off is I usually take my super fine 000 steel wool, and I clean up all inside these little nooks and crannies. You know, basically the spots that cover inside the lights where you can't really get to with this on, but you can totally notice the cleanliness. Like, look down here. You can see how kind of crusty that is. You run this over it, even dry, and look how nice that shines now. So you get into all these little nooks and crannies here with this super fine steel. Well, you can use chrome polish too, but this is honestly the easiest that I do. You see how dull that is there? Take this, couple passes. Look at that, nice and shiny and beautiful. So all these little details that go into fixing up one of these cars. And look at that. I mean, just all shined up nicely. We'll put that back on. And how about that? Nice and clean. Just the glamour of this beautiful Cadillac now saved. I'm glad I did this. All right, the final thing I got to do to this car before I hang that bumper on is put this chrome back on the wheel arch and the chrome down here. Now there's two 10 millimeters on the bottom. One of them goes up through the fender to the splash shield, and then another one just goes up through the chrome into this piece here. And then you get this little guy on the back here that goes to there. It was easy for me to pre-drill these holes on the other side because I had the other filler to line up to it and just, you know, make a little dot on each. This one I kind of did it by trial and error, but I think I should be pretty good. So let's get it. And you know what? If you make a hole that's too big, like I said, I make bigger holes. But if you make a hole that's, you know, too far off, it's covered by the chrome anyway, so don't worry about that. There we go. There we go. Bam! Stiffens that up quite a bit now. And now it's complete. We just got to do down this chrome fender flare or trim, wheel opening molding. And I kind of do the same thing with these wheel opening moldings where you can see all the crud, you know, on this inner spot here. I'll tell you one thing, if you clean this and polish this up, I do the same thing. A little bit of steel wool, maybe some chrome cleaner or whatever. You do the same thing to this. When you look at the fenders of these cars, you look and say, wow, look how nice and clean that is instead of all grimy. Before you put all the screws on, bam, looks like $1,000,000. Here's a perfect example of what I mean. Look how nice and shiny that is. Got all that gunk off it. I don't know if this is going to focus. Yeah, there we go. You can see up here where I didn't do how kind of gray and grimy it is. Well worth the effort. Amen. I have cracked off the last 4 remaining lug nuts. It's time to take these stilettos off this car. This is really the reason I bought this car from Copart, was to get these wheels. Look at how beautiful these wheels are. Just absolutely gorgeous wire wheels. Even the center caps aren't faded or anything like that. So we're going to steal these things off. I know I'm going to get shit in the comments for taking these wheels off, but like I said when I first got this car, I bought this car for these wheels, and I was going to sell it basically for, you know, someone else to fix up, but nobody else stepped up. So if it wasn't for me, this car would probably be a parts car anyways. I basically saved this car's life. So its minor way of repaying me is giving me those wheels for my 1980. Plus, not only am I putting white walls on, but I bet you didn't know that these wheels are actually 1987 specific wheels. These are aluminum wheels. They look like the steel wheel, but they're actually aluminum. You can see these holes through the outside part of the hub here. These are 1987 aluminum wheels. They put on these cars to try to lighten the weight of these cars. They only used them, I think, in 1987. So I'm putting a period correct set of wheels on it. Beautiful white wall tires. She'll look beautiful. Ta-da! See some wire hubcaps. Doo-doo-doo. Got the correct orange matching center. These are kind of crummy caps. I might look to see if I have better ones. But essentially, there she is. She's looking better already. These caps, I don't know. I might see what I got for other caps. I think they'll actually clean up. It's just dusty, probably from sitting in here. Oh yeah, those will clean up. And those ones, those are already slated to go on this fine unit. I was going to take the wheels off of this, but this is my 1980 Fleetwood Brougham Coupe, D-Elegance Coupe. And this car, if you've been watching me long enough, I bought this car 2 years ago. I've been chasing this car since I was a kid. Well, not chasing it, but I've wanted this car since I was a kid. And this car actually came with wire wheels from the factory, and somebody had taken them off. Well, I know who. The guy I bought the car from had taken them off, and he put regular wire hubcaps on from an 86 to 92 Brougham. So they're not even technically the correct wheel caps, but those wheels are going to look beautiful on this car. Plus, this thing needed tires anyways. You can see how wiped out those. I don't know why people do this. Who puts raised white letter BFGs on a Cadillac Brougham? I have no idea, but you can see how nice and clean this car is underneath. All right, we're back for day 2, and Papa Bear's in the house now. This is Papa Bear's first time seeing my reassembly. What do you think?
Good job, good job.
Not bad, huh?
Yeah, I have to say you did it without me.
Got all, well, this is where the bumper comes in. So, now I think I mentioned before, obviously it's the correct bumper. The difference is these impact strips. Technically, the 87s have this gray strip. And the bumper that came off the car was missing the driver or passenger side, which was the unhit side. And the hit side is all mangled up. I actually have a pair of the correct strips, but they kind of bruised up. Both of them. can see there's puck marks and whatnot. So these ones are actually in much better shape. And I don't think anybody's going to be that particular if they're going to be like, oh, it's got the wrong strips, given, you know, the car. So we're just hanging on just the way it is. Where the challenge comes in, though, is now tucking these corners behind these ears. You can see the quality fit and finish of these aftermarket fillers. This side's actually a little flatter, not as bad, but you have to tuck it behind those ears and hold it up and get it all jerry-rigged while we're holding it, and it's obviously a heavy bumper, so we're going to make an attempt at that right now, and that'll be the last pot to put on this car. And ta-da, just like that, we have bumper. She is complete. Plastics. All that good stuff. So right now, Papa Bear is doing an oil change. She's a little oily under here. But very, very clean floor pans. Look how clean this car is under here. It's actually got most of the original exhaust. I believe it's the original resonator. And somewhere on here, GM. I did have a little repair done right there. But Papa Bear is doing the oil change. And then we're going to do a TCC solenoid in the transmission, and she's ready to go. And just like that, we can officially say it's done. Well, it's 99.2% done. There's a few little things I got to button up. I got to grab another center cap. Got to get the molding off the old fender. We have the bumper tied in. Everything fit and finish wise is actually good, except for the aftermarket fillers. You can see they're a little wavy, but unfortunately these plastic fillers aren't original. But she is saved. Prim, proper, new white wall tires. What do you think, Papa Bear?
I think she looks beautiful now.
We're looking for a new home now.
Yeah, new home for a Brougham.
Next time you see this car, it'll be cleaned, ready to go, and in my for sale video. And there you have it, folks. I appreciate everybody for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Let us know what you think down in the comments of that. What year is it? 1987 Cadillac Brougham d'Elegance. Worthy save. Again, next time you're going to see it, it's for sale. So hit that subscribe button so you see the for sale listing. Get that bell notification going. That way you're one of the first ones to know when it is available. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll talk to you on the next one.